Welcome back to the ETF Inspector. It's Tuesday, September 16th, a little before 5:30, and this is our daily recap video for our Roundhill weekly paying funds. The first three are 0DTE covered call strategies on the indexes, QDTE for the NASDAQ 100, XDTE for the S&P 500, and RDTE for the Russell 2000. The last is a Bitcoin covered call strategy. It does not sell 0DTEs. They sell weeklies off of synthetics on IBIT, and that ticker is YBTC. Reminder, I'm on X at ETF_Inspector1. I repost things related to these ETFs in these videos, like today's announcement. So we'll go into that for YBTC. I guess we'll mention WPay too. And then I also post for this specific video the trades in the morning, since they are 0-day trades, just in case people are trying to trade along with the Roundhill pros. All right, so we'll take a look at how the market performed. Pretty flat overall. I think everybody's kind of waiting to see what's going to happen tomorrow with the Fed decision. But NDX was down 0.08%, and QDTE outperformed just barely 0.03% to the negative. SPX was down 0.13%. Again, XDTE just barely outperformed, down 0.11%. Russell 2000 was down 0.09%. The RDTE outperformed, only going down 0.03%. And finally, IBIT was up 1.33%. And YBTC was not able to keep up, only up 0.65%. They did go up another 0.6% after hours, though. Maybe that was a little bit of makeup. All right, so let's take a look at our spreadsheets. We'll start with QDTE. They sold 385 calls on NDX with a strike price of $24,380, collecting $13.18 or $507,000. NDX closed at $24,274. That is well below the strike price. It doesn't cost anything to settle, and it's a full profit of $507,000, basically breaking them even now on the week. They lost $508,000 yesterday. All right, when we look at the holdings, no changes from yesterday, no new shares purchased, or nobody selling out of the fund. Still 26,310,000 shares. The NAV at the start of the day, 35.55. Closing price, sometimes this takes a little while to settle out. 35.56. Still says 57 there. No big deal. $935 million in assets under management. You can see we've got all of our deep in the money calls that are synthetics that we are using to sell calls off of. We don't actually hold shares of the underlying, and these deep in the money 18.50 and 10-cent calls that are expiring on Friday, we will see them get closed out this week. Unfortunately, the only trades they show us, though, are the 0DTE trades, so they won't show us these getting sold and then the new ones being purchased. Tomorrow is declaration day for these three 0DTE funds. 9/17 declaration day, 9/18 is X day, and 9/19 Friday will be payday. Last payday was 20 cents, just over. And my guesstimate is 23 cents for this week, so we'll see how far I'm off. The official announcement comes out tomorrow, but technically, as most of you know, the website puts it out around 8 o'clock tonight. Next, we go to XDTE. They sold 630 calls on the SPX, expiring today with a $6,630 strike, collecting $3.08 per share premium, or $194,000. SPX closed at 66.06, so that's well below 66.30. It doesn't cost anything to close them out. They expire worthless, and that's a full profit of $194,000. Again, similar to QDTE, there was no changes in the holdings and nobody buying into or selling out of the fund. That doesn't mean nobody bought shares, but the supply and demand of people buying and selling evened out, so the fund wasn't having to buy back anything or create more to sell. So 9,465,000 outstanding shares. NAV started the day at 44.29. Share price dropped just a little bit throughout the day. There's $419 million in assets under management. Again, tomorrow is declaration day. Last week, they paid 21 cents, just over. Again, my guess this week for XDTE is also 23 cents. They will also be closing out these $540.50 deep in the money calls this week. So we will see them take that money and then put it somewhere, whether it's in one of these others or a new farther dated one. We'll find out. All right, that's it for XDTE. Next we go to RDTE. They sold 651 calls with a strike of $2,405, collecting $2.56 per share, or $166,000 in total premium. Russell 2000 closed at 2403, so it was close. If they'd have gone up very much at all, they'd have been paying to close these out, but 2405 is still higher, so they expired worthless. They don't cost anything to close out. And like XDTE, they are 2 for 2, keeping all the premium collected. All right, RDTE, again, similar to the others, no changes in the holdings. Outstanding shares stayed the same, 4,610,000. So the NAV was 33.57 when they started. Let's see if that 33.59 is correct. 33.60 is what this says. So trading at a couple cent premium, nothing serious. Tomorrow's declaration day. Last week they paid 22.6 cents. Again, just having some fun on this one since my guesses all came fairly close. I wanted to give all three of them a 23-cent guesstimate. So we will find out tonight, but we'll put it out in the video tomorrow. All right, and then for YBTC, it actually is their declaration day. So we got this info last night, but they officially announced it today. Let's find it. All right. On X, YBTC, 39.5128 cents. People are asking for YETH all the time for Ether. I don't cover that one, but while we're here, 39.2397 cents. So both in the 39s. And then WPay just announced their very first distribution. So X Day was today. So they announced this yesterday. That was a repost from the day before. Today was X Day. So if you have WPay and you bought it before today and still had it today, you're getting 54 cents and change tomorrow. I might have already cleared the info. I did. I've already started working on the next one. So if you go back and watch, the video where I announced WPay as a new fund right here, that was the day it came out. I also gave a guesstimate on what I thought that they were going to pay. I think I said 51 cents on that, but that was literally the day they created it. So here we are, 12 days later, and I was only off by 3 cents, so not bad. I'm still in progress here. It's coming out to like 70-ish cents, but I'm not done yet for next week. So don't take that for anything. YBTC, we did see some changes. They added 353 contracts to each of the synthetics, as well as, I forgot to copy that down. So they added it to the synthetic and then also sold that many more calls. calls are at 67.84. It was a update today. I'm not sure why. Not sure why the underlying didn't keep up. It didn't really make sense. The calls did not go into the money, so they're not costing more to close out. I mean, obviously the value of that's going up. What do we have going on here? That's supposed to be down there. But maybe that's why it caught back up after hours, because it just wasn't making sense. So in any case, they are still out of the money. So if they were to expire like this on Friday, they would end worthless and we'd get to keep all the premium collected. But we still have a few trading days left to go. Again, today was declaration day. We set it 39.5 cents. My guesstimate was 44. So it's a surprise to the downside by just under 12%, 11.9%. If we look in their recent history, this is kind of a first. So back-to-back 30s, generally we would get 40s, 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 30, 50s, 40s, 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 30. So we got to go back to the beginning of July before we put back-to-back under 40s. But then back then we actually had 5 in a row. So we'll see if this is a new trend. But either way, so are you happy with 39 cents a share on your $46 share price? That's all I've got for you. Good luck trading tomorrow, and I'll catch you in the next video.